Hey, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and ring the bell for future notifications of all other videos. Well, now you got me dancing. Blessings to everyone this Sunday, beautiful morning. I just want to say welcome to Sunday Scriptures, where I read a verse out of the scripture that I feel helps me through life. Because I do believe that the word is life instructions, and it helps you through life as long as you read it, understand it, and take it to heart, and try to live that loving, righteous life. And if you ask for wisdom, God will give you that. So in these scriptures, I hope they inspire you. I hope they give you a push for life when things are going bad, when you feel something's not right. I hope these verses help you out. So again, welcome everyone who's watching today, who will be watching in the future. Thank you for watching. Click that like button for me. I really would appreciate it. Let's get into the verse of today. Today's scripture is from Luke chapter 16, verse 10. Again, Luke chapter 16, verse 10, as it reads. Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. And whoever is dishonest with very little will also be dishonest with much. Let me read it to you one more time. Again, Luke chapter 16, verse 10. Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. And whoever is dishonest with very little will also be dishonest with much. So, Luke 16, chapter 16, verse 10. In this scripture, as Jesus was talking giving his lecture or his lesson for life, when you get something, and it could be minuscule, it could be very small, minuscule is what I meant to say. It could be very small. What do you do with that little bit counts in life. Also in heaven, as God is watching. If you take this little, you nurture it, and you make it grow, soon you'll have a lot. That's basically what this is saying. But you have to be honest with it. You have to do the right thing with it. As I say, you have to live a righteous life. You have to ask for wisdom, and you have to have. It has to be in love. You have to have those three things at least to achieve this. Because if you're dishonest and you're given little, guess what? It's going to go away. For instance, many of us have a job, and we're given little, we're given a lot, whatever it may be. However, we declare it as little. And we expect more. Some of us will go out and get credit cards, whatever it may be, to keep up with the Joneses. And it might not be money. It might just be something else too. Friendship, lying to gain popularity, whatever it may be. You're given this little thing to take care of. And God is watching us. He's seeing what we're going to do with this. Are we going to be honest and do the right thing? Or are we going to be dishonest and face the consequences? So people have a job. I'll finish that one. People have a job. We'll go out, make money. Instead of seeing something that we want and then looking at our finances to see if we could afford it with the cash that we make, we'll go out and get a credit card and put it on credit and say, oh, I'll pay it off later. We'll see something else. Oh, I'll put on a credit card. Oh, I'll pay it off later. We'll see something else. I'll put on a credit card. I'll pay it off later. Majority of this stuff is basically a lot of us trying to keep up with the Joneses instead of trying to keep up with what we are. When you're keeping up with the Joneses, guess what? You're envying what your neighbor has. You're doing one of those sinful things. And I'm not saying you're a sinner. I'm saying that you're doing a sinful thing, that you're trying to keep up with somebody and try to be them instead of trying to be yourself. If you have the cash You take care of it, you invest it, you do what you need to do, pay your bills first, do the right thing, do the honest thing, do the trusting thing. God will bless you with more. That's what he's saying here. You do the right thing, he will bless you with more. And it's not going to be in your time. It's going to be in his time. So for you to go out and I need to say you, I need to say for a person to go out and say, oh, I got to get this. Do you need it or do you want it? These are the two things. The majority of the times it's more of a want than a need. Now, I always talk about this. I always state this, that we as people tend to do a lot of want instead of a lot of need. We tend to go out and do things because we want to do things instead of that we need to do things. And that's where the trusting comes into. That's where the honesty comes into play with this. As people, we need to take care of what we need to take care of. As people, we need to stop going out to keep up with the Joneses, trying to live a lifestyle that honestly, it's not for us. A lot of times, and I'm speaking on my point right now, a lot of times I sit back like most people and wish that I could win $1 million or that I could be a millionaire. When I get enough money, I notice my mindset changes. And then I start losing the money because I'm not being trustworthy with it. I'm not being honest with it. And it's not a righteous thing that I started doing with it. I started just doing the one thing. It's not to keep up with the Joneses. It's a one thing. I've accumulated. I stated this in several of my videos. I accumulated junk because I wanted it, and now I have to declutter my house because of this want desire. I stopped doing the one thing. Now I sit back and really think, okay, I may want it, but why? That's the question I always ask. And do I need to put my money towards that or do the right thing and put it towards something else? Another thing about it is we don't tithe as people. A lot of us do not tithe. I used to not tithe way back in the day. I mean, there's a lot of things I used to do that wasn't righteous and wise. I didn't tithe, and I've always wondered, why can't I achieve these riches? Why can't I achieve? Because I was trying to keep up with the Joneses back then. Why can't I have that fancy car? Why can't I have that big old house? Why? Hey, I'll get a credit card and charge and pay it off later. I got into debt, and back then, this is when I was in my 20s and 30s. I had to claim bankruptcy because of that greed, because of that want desire, because of that let's keep up with the Joneses. God had given me a little thing, and before I claimed bankruptcy, again, I wasn't tithing. I wasn't giving anything to God. I wasn't giving my 10% to God, even though He kept giving me little. I didn't give 10% of that back to God by tithing. One day I received a credit card, and this is how the devil tempts us. And I was pre-approved. All I had to do was sign it and send it back in. Mind you, I think I was a senior in high school, working part-time. No, I'm sorry. I was in college. Working part-time. And I received a credit card with a limit, pre-approved, mind you, pre-approved for $100,000. A young 20, I think it was like 22, 21-year-old, getting a credit card for $100,000 limit. I'll never forget it because I took it to my dad and I showed him. I said, "Is this real?" And he goes, "Yeah, it's real." He goes, "Rip it up and throw it away." He said, Dad, but this 100,000, I can do a lot with 100,000. My dad looked at me, he goes, rip it up, throw it away. I didn't have a pot to piss in. And here I am looking at a credit card for $100,000. If I signed it, got it, how am I going to pay it off when I'm living at home with my parents, working part-time? I went to my room and I started thinking about it. And I'm like, man, it's just a lot of money. I could do a lot. I could get me a lot. Not thinking I can need what I needed to do. And that was to tithe. That was to do the right thing. I wasn't thinking about that stuff. I was thinking about, whoa, I could get a lot of stuff. People look at me and envy me instead of me envying them. I was thinking all that garbage. And my dad's voices kept resonating in my head. You don't have a pot to piss in, and how are you going to pay this off if you started, using it? And I wouldn't have used it for the right thing. So I ripped it up. I listened to my dad. Thank God. Thank God that he spoke through my dad, and I ripped it up. And I'm so happy to this day. And today I tithe. I've been tithing for years. I've tithed when me and my wife lost our jobs. We still tithe. We still tithe 10% of our unemployment. We tithe. We are tithers. Not once have we been where we weren't blessed to have money when we needed the money. God always provided some way, somehow. So look at Luke 16, verse 10. Read the whole book of Luke. Read the whole chapter 16 to really understand this. How can God trust you with something that he holds dear and provide you with more if you're not trustworthy, if you're not honest, and if you're not doing the right thing in life? How do you expect him to trust you? How can you trust yourself if you can't even be honest with yourself and say, I do not need this stuff? Think about it. God bless you. Thank you for watching this video. And I would like to also say thank you for watching any or all of my videos that I have put out there in the past. I would like for you to look at some shorts that I have created. I hope they are funny to you. I hope they bring you some laughter and some joy. I hope all of my videos I've posted out here for you on YouTube have brought you some enlightenment, have enriched your life, have did some type of positive impact for you. If you would like to watch any of my past videos or a video I mentioned in this video, click here and here. Or if you would like to subscribe, click here. With that, thank you for watching. And until our next video, see ya.